it's Elliot again. I just wanted to share this new purchase that I made, which is the HOTA H6 Pro Duo Charger. This is the box, the packaging that it came in. Very small, simple packaging that we're used to with these new chargers coming out of China. It was in here, and the only other thing in the box was the AC power cord and a simple instruction card. It has all of the specs here and a couple of instructions, like 4 instructions. The other side has the same thing in Chinese. And as you can see, the charger itself is really small. You have the battery connection here, balance port, and then a 5 volt 2.1 amp USB out. Here's your DC in, which is from 6.5 volts all the way up to 30 volts. This is the AC in for the internal power supply, and this is the USB so that you can do firmware updates here. This is like a servo connector, so you can do servo testing and receiver testing. Fan, cooling port. So very small. I have a few other chargers here just for reference during the review, so I can kind of give you some size comparisons. Here's a Q6 from ISDT. It's significantly smaller, same size screen, but it's also considerably weaker. It's a 300 watt charger. The HOTA is rated all the way up to 700 watts on DC, 200 watts with the internal AC power supply. So yeah, this one is smaller, but it's not nearly as nice or as powerful as this charger. Comparatively, here's a ISDT T6 Lite. This is a 600 watt charger. I believe it's the same exact size as the regular T8, which is a 1000 watt charger. So you're looking at something that's comparable as far as charge power is concerned. Almost the same size, but no internal power supply. So there you have that. And then next to it, I have a Revolectrix GT1200, which is huge, but it's a 1200 watt power supply, extremely robust, has a pretty good interface. I'm not here to talk bad about the other chargers. I just want to give you guys an example and some reference points to kind of take a look at what's out there. So I'll go on with the HOTA H6 and give you guys my opinion of what this little charger is about. I mean, all of the stats are on the web, but I'll go ahead and go through it real quick. Again, it's an AC/DC charger. It's a single port charger. It doesn't do 2 batteries at one time. I myself have never been a fan of dual port chargers. You know, for me, I like the simplicity of having a single charger. I'd rather have 2 of the same charger so that I can be completely autonomous with what cell count I use, what chemistry I use. If one of them breaks, I still have a backup. Whereas with a dual charger, if one side messes up, now you're stuck with a charger with a burnt side or broken side, or if you turn it, send it back for repair, then you're stuck with no charger or using a different charger. So I've always been a fan of single port chargers. This charger has as I mentioned before, it has an AC power supply built in that supplies 200 watts at 30 volts. The charger can charge at up to 26 amps. In AC, mode, for instance, I charge a 4S battery at about 13 amps. You can hook it up to a 24 volt power supply or higher and get 700 watts in DC mode, which is massive. Really, I don't unless you're charging really parallel, you're probably never going to go up to the 700 watts. It does read internal resistance during the charge cycle, and it has the capability to act as a power supply, and it does do regenerative discharge into another battery. I'm not going to go on and on about the features and the specs of the unit because most hobbyists are familiar with this newer style of interface already, but I feel that this particular charger is HOTA's best effort yet. They have the larger D6 models that have been reviewed several times and have been out for a while. Those are generally dual chargers, and they've gotten a lot of positive feedback, so kudos to HOTA. This unit, though, I think maximizes space and power. It has more overall wattage than any of the D6 variants, and it has a balancing current of 2 amps per cell. That's very high, and it's the highest of all of HOTA's chargers. During my testing, the charger completed its work really quickly. The cells were all easily balanced, and they were even at the end of the charge cycle. And when I got this charger, it had a firmware update on HOTA's website that was available, and I updated it before I used it right away. So I don't know what the corrections or the updates were meant to do, but the charger worked straight away. I've had zero problems with it, and I've done some pretty extensive testing on it. The price for this charger right now is about $89 on the internet. To me, that's a steal. You get a 700 watt capable DC charger with a 200 watt power supply built in. If you were to just go out and purchase a 200 watt 24 volt to 30 volt power supply, it costs you about $60 by itself. A 700 watt charger will run you anywhere from $60, $80, $100. So you get both in a unit that's this small is just ridiculous. For me, my opinion is this is the best charger on the market right now. I bought it with my own money, but as you can see, I have several chargers to choose from and use. This one has been the most user-friendly, and I think has the most bang for the buck. Let me just power the thing on so you can see. I'm hooking it up right now to an EV Peak 1300 watt power supply that's rated for about, I think, 25 volts. So you should see it come on shortly. Yeah, I know this is going to be hard to see. These things are always hard to see when you're recording them. But yeah, like I said, this interface has been out for a while with HOTA, and it's kind of like, it's just a variant of what ISDTS put out so far. But if you hold that button down, you go into the settings, task parameters, system parameters. You can go to tools, where you can do your servo tests, servo auto tests, PPM out, PWM measurement. These are not things that I use, but if it's something that you need, it's nice to have as an extra. System info, and then back. Again, this is the stuff that you see if you do one simple click, you can change your task from charge. You can use this machine as a power supply, discharge, external discharge, which is the regenerative discharge. You can use it just for storage or just to balance a battery. Oh, here's the regenerative discharge, my bad. So you can do that. Once you select it, you have all the different battery types that we're all familiar with these days. Generally, your LiPo is your most common, but for those of you that would need it for lithium high voltage, lithium ion, lithium ferrite, nickel zinc, lead batteries, nickel cadmium, nickel metal hydride, inner loop. I mean, it's pretty comprehensive. nobody should feel like they're missing a battery chemistry here. And you can adjust the cell voltage. You can go, as you can see, this is, a lot of people ask about this, and I don't know if this is even showing up well on camera. Here we go. There we go. I'm getting a lot of glare. There we go. So there's a 1S battery. A lot of people ask about being able to charge 1S batteries on this. That you can charge 1S batteries, and the amperage, you can bring it anywhere from, I think the lowest you can go is 1. Oh no, 0.1 amps, all the way up to the reported 26 amps. There you go. There. I think I held the button too long. There we go. Try to get out of this. So if you hold the button, it goes fast, but if you hold it too long, you can get too much input like I just had. I still like these buttons a whole lot better than the wheel, because I think the wheels are imprecise. They're too easy to mess up. These buttons are capacitive, so you have no chance of anything falling inside of the buttons or the button being worn out over use. So I like this, even though they're a little bit sensitive. And you can start the task, or you can go back out of here. I mean, I'm not gonna charge any batteries with this. I've already take my word for it. I've charged these batteries through the AC and the DC. This thing worked brilliantly. It didn't overheat. The internal resistance was pretty consistent, so that you can tell whether you have any of your cells that are failing. I like this machine. This is probably my new go-to charger for my use. I recommend it. I bought mine from Banggood, and I had no problems. It was delivered in less than 2 weeks, and so far so good. So that's my take on it. I hope you enjoyed the review. If you have any questions, post them at the bottom. I'll do my best to answer anything that you guys might have. Thanks a lot. Take care.